Did you just call your second account a hardcore account because it doesn't have the skills maxed?
Oh, like a hardcore challenge. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Hey guys and welcome. My name is Dashing Dot. I have been playing Escape from Tarkov for over 3 years now. I put a lot of research into the system and mechanics around all skills, and I decided to see how other players are feeling about the skill system. To kick off the series, I invited Ghostfreak66. In my opinion, Ghost is one of the best PvP players currently on EFT and plays the game since he started playing it in the closed alpha back in 2016. Ghost is also a streamer on Twitch, and I have put a link of his channel down in the description. If you have not seen him play yet, I highly recommend you do so. So to kick off the questions, Ghost, as a more serious Tarkov player, if I may say so, what is your personal opinion on the current state of the skill system?
The current skill system, I think it always needs work, and it's a ever evoluting like system. So it changes through patches, and it gets fixed. And we tested obviously a lot of it, and I feel like it's starting to get better and better now. And some of the changes that have been brought in are currently stopping, some of the casual players.
Okay. If you look at all the skills and you could pick 4 skills each wipe that can be maxed out, the rest can't, which ones would you currently pick and why?
Endurance, because I hate my guy being out of breath. It
Mhm.
feels like a fatso. I don't want to be a fatso. Strength, I just want a little bit more speed.
Mhm.
Don't want to feel like a blockhead, super slow, or a juggernaut, because I don't feel like you tank more than 2 rounds anyway. And I guess search is amazing. Having max search and searching 2 things at the same time.
Mhm.
And then I think lastly, it's a hard one between attention and maybe what would be the best? Maybe attention. Let's say attention.
Okay. That's not a bad choice. I think that those skills are always varying between PvP, PvE. Attention is a good mix for both. You can use it in both situations, absolutely. From your point of view, what is the most useless skill currently implemented in the game?
Memory. It does nothing.
Because it
Well,
doesn't
at the
work.
moment, yeah, it doesn't work at the moment. No, I personally feel like not all of them has been implemented. So, I mean, it's so hard. Kind of, I use all the skills. All the skills work. They do help a lot in each aspect of your gameplay. And I mean, I'll charisma doesn't work for the traders at the moment because you have your own rep. I guess charisma is just,
Yeah.
and it's for a quest. So I mean, why it doesn't help?
You're not wrong there. It doesn't. That's true. It's completely useless. If I was looking at the more active skills from my point of view, it probably would have been mag drills because it's horrible.
Mag roll's perfect.
Because it's the one of the hardest. But yeah, that's just mine. From your point of view, what's the hardest skill to max out and why?
I mean, you just brought up mag trolls, which just oh man, I could never sit and load and unload. I can load faster than what these PMCs can, honestly. I think my scav could load faster than what my PMC does. But I feel like one of the hardest skills is strength, in my opinion, and not even the slapping of the legs or throwing 16 million rubles worth of grenades, but just because people are they don't have the information to level it right, and they're doing it the wrong way to trying to get strength, and you need to level it to get quests. Also, it's something you need in the game. It's just one of the hardest ones to understand and fully, take advantage of.
What do you do? I mean, why is it so hard to level it up?
It takes long. I mean, any skill that takes long would honestly be one of the hardest ones. So I mean, if you have to walk overweight, even with the what's the system to take it slower, the exhaustion,
Mhm.
to make it slower, you would average out 200 hours trying to more or less, and that's walking overweight every single raid and playing the full 50-40 minutes of a raid. I mean, it's no one has time for that.
Would it shock you if I told you it's 900 hours walking overweight?
Sorry. It's more
200 hours, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
So since you're focused a lot on PvP, but the game always brings in the PvE element, how do the skills affect your style to play in terms of PvP and PvE, considering that you start off with like at level 0 at the beginning of the wipe, and then you gradually max out your skills? How does that affect you?
I tend to stay away from PvE, the environment, obviously, the scavs, the NPCs. When I have higher skills, I tend to stay away from them. I use them as alarms. I use them to kind of walk around them, not to set them off, because it's another aspect of the game. I shoot a scav over here. Everyone in the map knows I'm there. I usually leave them. When I'm at the beginning of the game, you don't have the speed, you don't have the endurance to run around or even maneuver through these. So you have to take them straight on, and you have to do it fast as well, which you can't really do. And that's pretty much it. Like it's honestly between playing the game more comfortably and more strategically when having a little bit higher skills than having no skills and having to take on everything coming at you.
So you're saying you play it more passively at the beginning?
Yes. Pretty much more passively, and it's like I'm supposed to cross a bridge and I need to jump over it rather than going the long way around. And I have to jump it. And you just have enough. It's so hard.
Does that also mean that when you have higher skills, you start being more aggressive, but also are hunting gunshots actively because you can do more with higher skills?
I mean, it's honestly between people's playstyles. Like if it's not your thing to go for gunshots, then you don't go for it. You have better chance of exiting or escaping, getting away, ambushing, flanking. I honestly I have played with the hardcore account, which is just a secondary account with no skills, and the playstyles do differ, but I still do the same. You can still do just as much as someone with it. Obviously, you can't, run around the hill away. You don't have that much endurance to run away. Flanking, as I would say, as another guy, but you can do the same.
Did you just call your second account a hardcore account because it doesn't have the skills maxed?
Oh, like a hardcore challenge. You know what I mean? It's like it's the hardcore account, as in I'm not going for leveling skills. I am playing as passive as I can. I'm not focusing on anything except the quests. Until you get to those quests where you need to have like sniper level, then obviously you need to snipe and all these things to level them up. But I wouldn't. Not focus.
I can tell you this because I just started playing on a second account to recap the skill gain, obviously, because they did some changes again between Christmas, where they introduced exhaustion, and today. And we did a little fun thing. I had my mods give me the exact same loadout that I run on my main account, like my almost meta HK, Gen 4, all the good stuff. And I was killing everybody left and right. The only thing I personally experienced was after 5 seconds running, I was out.
So you were out.
It did affect me, but I kind of was still like with this high-end gear. I feel like everybody can kill anybody.
Exactly what I was trying to kind of allude, that skills are awesome to have, and they do affect playstyles and help playstyles.
Yes,
but you can do exactly the same with another with a high tier kit. So you can be exactly the same. I mean,
it just
a
takes
face
longer.
shot's a face shot, headshot's a headshot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I empty 60 rounds in someone with 995, it doesn't matter if I'm level 1 or level 69, right? That's So, and here's a hard one. If you were the one to decide, how would you implement the skill system? And I'll give you a little bit because I have some experience with skill systems in games. Like
Yeah.
right now, it's doing something repetitively and passively, not actually actively gaining something for doing it repetitively. Whereas you could also have, and I'm just saying, if I level up, I get a skill point, and I can put this into a skill. Yeah, as
Yeah.
an example. But how would you like to see it, or do you like it the way it is?
I I think the exhaustion honestly just hurt the casual player base. I mean, for more of the more experienced levelers or guys that focus on skills to be faster, to be, you know, endurance wise, run longer,
Yeah.
stay more in the fight. Uh, it's honestly just hurt the casual player base. I feel like so for the professional players, which I would say is like your guys that have been playing the game for a long while and then have time to play it, they have not been hurt at the end of the day because they'll probably know how to level it and they've been leveling it the hard way. As I mean, 200 hours for endurance now goes to 300 hours. It's not going to stop me from not doing another 100 hours to get the level,
Yes.
but it will honestly stop the casual players from even trying it because they don't have the time.
Yes.
They don't have the time, the knowledge, or the know-how to like physically get these skills up. And now even more, they don't want to even touch it because of the exhaustion. I
Correct.
think I think it should have been it shouldn't be placed. It
Yeah.
should be fun and knowledgeable to level and to
Mm-hmm.
get those levels. I think it should level ish. It should level slowly
Yes.
and then slower at the end. So I mean, more at the end. You know what I
So
mean?
you get a
From
kick
level,
at the start where you can like
you get a kick at
fast
the
level to
start.
20, and then it
Exactly,
gradually slows down until
slows
you
down.
like in order to reach an elite perk, it takes you very very long, but you do
Yeah,
get the benefits for the most part of the skill because it's
that's.
yeah.
I feel like that is one way. This is my opinion though.
Yeah, yeah,
So
of
I
course.
mean, yeah, it's like it doesn't hurt everyone,
Right.
right? Because some of the changes that have been made, I feel like is it's hurting the casuals. It's hurting
Yes.
and I know this game isn't just made for the casuals or just made for the professionals. I would want the game needs to have that eco of everyone being able to achieve almost the same. And the guys that actually put in the time and work should get um, rewarded for working and for leveling their character and spending hundreds of hours trying
Right.
to get to that point.
Um if and I can add two things to that. Since we're in a beta, I feel like it's important that people do it, that people max out their skills to actually show the weaknesses of playing with maxed out skills or the strong side, and so BSG can actually get that information and then change things based on those facts. Whereas they right now um, see the majority is on like level 10-ish skills, yeah, and they can
Yeah.
never tell like how they affect their gameplay. It just doesn't show throughout the masses. So it's important that people do it, but I agree it shouldn't be easy. It should still be
No,
hard. It should still be something that you feel you've just been rewarded for, from my point of view.
accomplished.
Yes.
Yes, it's a accomplishment.
So I've been looking into the skills and how you could change them to make them more rewarding, but also evenly for others. And
Yeah,
if you look at like all the skills, and you know most of the skills anyways because you maxed them out. If I told you like next patch, you can have all the skills on level 50, so you get like the 100% running speed on endurance level 50, and you get the 77% sprint speed on strength, or it's a 75, sorry.
yeah, yeah.
But you can have one elite perk only.
Yeah.
Which one would you choose?
Oh, which one can I have? Only elite from the get go.
One elite perk for one skill. You can have one skill that
Oh,
is on
okay.
elite, so level 51. The rest can only go to 50.
This is the hardest thing ever.
Yes.
I've always believed in strength because I thought like I needed the speed to be my aggressive self in situations, but I've been clearly proven wrong by you. And endurance is such a game changer too, where I'm not out of stamina every 2 seconds, and it's not
Yes.
like I'm not being punished every mistake heavily.
Yes, maybe
Of
to add
being
to
out
that,
of
the
yeah.
elite perk for strength isn't you gain more speed. It's
No,
your weight is counted differently. So
exactly.
it
I
really
mean,
is the most useless elite perk next to mag drills.
mag I'm never gonna get mag drills. That's the one. That's the one skill I never want to level. But yes, like endurance, 100%. Level 50 from the get go. Endurance would be,
Yes.
I think, the
That
best
is that
for
is
me and my playstyle.
that is why it's in my opinion probably the most valuable skill on elite. I mean,
Only.
because it brings several elite perks obviously.
Yeah.
So and we've talked about this a little bit, but how do you stand towards power leveling skills versus just playing the game?
Oh man.
Because, and I
I
give you a bit of context, there's a faction that says it's important for the game that we power level them so we can actually show Battlestate games how it all works out properly when you have max skills. The other portion is also important for BSG to show if you play the game normally, how would you progress? Obviously, you need that too.
yeah.
But there's a side that says you shouldn't power level your skills because it's unfair, and it's not right to do it. And there's a side that says, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I'm all for power leveling. I mean, if I spend 400, 500 hours, and I mean, if the game comes out and then I spend over 1,000 hours leveling a skill, or how long it takes, I want to be rewarded for it. Obviously,
Yes.
I'm putting the dedication in playing their game,
Mhm.
and it's their skills in their game. I mean, nothing is going to stop me from leveling and purely going for it.
Yes.
Um, I power leveling is awesome. I love it in games. You get it in so many other games,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're not going to stop it. Like, I don't know if you're going to stop power. You can't stop power leveling, in my opinion.
No,
If
you can't.
No, you can't,
And
because I mean,
I've been saying that to people because, and I always like to take it's a completely different game, but if you look at World of Warcraft, yes, um,
yeah,
when
you're
people
going to get
say
those guys.
it's not fair that you can sprint so fast, and it's not fair that you can jump so high, and that your stamina recovers so fast, because I can't get that, then is it the same as if you say it's not fair that this guild can raid, this dungeon and get all the good shit, whereas I don't have the time, so I can't do it, so they shouldn't be able to do it either. So
Yeah,
it's exactly the same thing, and in every
it's
game that
exactly the
has
same thing.
something that you can farm, and if you look at the skills, you can farm skills. Yes, you can farm
You
money, you
can.
can farm skills. Farming is always for the people. It's always more rewarding to the people that put in more time. That's just how it
Exactly.
is.
I mean, you have so different player, a whole player base of so many people that play
Yes.
the game so differently. You have people just running and farming.
Mhm.
They love that. You have people that just play the market, and when the skills come in for the market and they can get their
Mhm.
skills, who am I to say that they're not allowed to spend 15 hours a day doing that? I mean, that's just how the game is. So I don't like games that there's one playstyle, there's one meta, that's it. The game's gonna die then.
Yes.
There's so variety of it, everything, and you can play it as you want. You can play it with helmet or with helmet and get one shot at it. It's
Yes.
I love the
Absolutely.
game for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
The variety of how people play the game is so huge, and I think it wasn't expected by Battlestate Games that they didn't expect people like you do it. And I take World of Warcraft again. You do have people that sit in
yeah,
front of the auction house all day, to just
Yeah.
make gold. And it's exactly the same in EFT, and that's where the fun in the game is for them. There's people that just run Shoreline or Interchange or whatever to make money and stuff it into their secure container, totally fine. And you have people that only want to go PvP, that only want to go labs. You can't force. If you start forcing people to do one thing and one thing only, then they're stopping to play the game. And here's another one where I think that's important to say. If I make it impossible for people to achieve things in the game by saying this is only for hardcore people, then the next time you go into a raid and there's nobody there, don't ask it. That's what you wanted, you know?
It's exactly what you wanted.
So, you can shoot the scavs, but there's no other PMC. I don't know if that's and it's the same with skills. Like, if you don't want skills in the game, then don't implement them. If you want skills, then expect people to power level them. That's just something.
Yeah. You want someone to be a glass cannon, let him be a glass cannon. That's the thing about the game. It's so like you can, and there's so many other skills that you can be a hoarder with insta search, or not insta search, 50% chance of insta searching. But I mean, if that guy spent 300 hours or so much more just doing that, just focusing on that, who am I to say that he's not allowed to do it?
Exactly.
He worked for it.
Oh yeah. And that was his aim in the game. He wanted this skill to max so he can do certain things that complements his playstyle. And I mean, they have a variety of skills upcoming. But I think it's at this point it's good to ask you if you feel that it's good that certain tasks and things in the hideout are locked behind skill levels, or do you think that should be changed? And if you do so, why and how?
So I'm thinking you're talking about like search skill and charisma for some of the hideout
endurance.
If
you want to build something in the hideout, you need level 2 endurance, or you need a certain strength, and So doesn't that also enforce people to power level it because they want it done quickly?
Yeah, it also kind of puts you to, oh, I need to level up strength, or I need to level up charisma. How do I level up charisma? They go find out. They're like, oh, all I have to do is put something in my bag.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how you level it. It's kind of, I kind of like it because it would have made it. I'm talking about myself here because I went, how the fuck do you level up charisma? Oh, dash heap. It helps that the game, it still kind of throws curveballs to me where I have to go find out, oh, I need to do this to get this. I don't know. I can't even remember if the hideout is, you don't need like level 15 strength. You need like level 2 or
something
3.
Something small,
And that's 60 points, or
it is
40.
Level 3 is 60 points.
Yeah, that's about almost over 6,000 raids or more.
6,000 raids?
No, 6,000 nades.
Oh,
grenades. Sorry, grenades.
I think it's
more.
I think it's
Don't say 600.
600, yeah, because you get point 0.125
1
and then 0.1 and consecutively. Yeah, it's not as many.
It's not the end of
However, of course, with the new skill system that they implemented with the exhaustion, it takes you a bit longer. But takes you definitely longer. That is something where I say,
it's level 2. It's not unreachable.
No, exactly.
It is not, destroying anything. I feel more. I mean, this is also the thing. I mean, now if it was unattainable, the community would say, "Listen, this is kind of unattainable," and they would say to the streamers, and the streamers would be, yeah, it's unattainable," and the info would go obviously to the devs, and it would get changed. And that's the best thing about Tarkov. Everything is subject to change.
I did. If I remember correctly, a year or two ago, Nikita once said they are going to implement certain things into the game to test them out, and if they're no good, they're just going to throw them out. And that's the way I approach this. When I see something I don't, instantly rage at it. I think like, okay, they just want to test it. So let's give them the freedom of testing it, and then we tell them this is not going to work, guys. Whereas others are just jumping in and saying, "Oh my God, how could you do this?" You know that. Yeah, that. I can understand the approach that they're doing, and it's learning by doing what they're doing right now.
The skills though in what you need for the hideout, I think it's perfectly fine in my opinion. You know, it's just I feel like it's like it kind of shows the guys that they need to kind of focus on skills for their hideout, and it gets them more involved. It's not just like go pick up 2 papers in factory and then you're done. It's more like it's more I don't know.
Would you like? We have like as most of the streamers, they need a week to get to level 40. You know, that's like the average time for streamers to get there. Do you feel like in order to stop them, because that also puts you at a huge advantage, wouldn't it make sense to say, well, if you want to hit 40, there's a task and you need to hit strength level 20, have fun?
Ooh, that's gonna definitely put power level,
I mean, you could argue the same, saying like skills are too OP. I could say like, okay, but if I have enough time, I can level to 40 real fast, get access to all the guns and armors real fast, and then fuck you over with that. It's the same way, right?
It's nothing stops a WoW player to go from 1 to 80 and then do what he does. Yes. I mean, that game is it honestly, like I don't like one of the biggest things I've been hearing is some of the changes that they want to do. Not they as BSG, but some of the streamers were kind of talking about it, making heavier armors only accessible from in-raid. So you can only get, let's say, Gen Assault from labs. You can only get that. You can't trade it, and you can't put it on the flea.
Okay.
And then I said, that's stupid. Because who are the only players that are good enough to go into labs and to fight against those raiders and bring it out?
It's the WoW players without jobs.
Or
the ones that earn money doing exactly that. Yeah.
Exactly. How's casuals gonna go into labs when they finally get a key and when they finally build up I'm gonna do it, finally go into labs and get absolutely destroyed because they don't play labs normally? They're never gonna get these armors. And then the good guys, you literally tried something to stop the good guys from running those armors, but then you made it only accessible by the good guys.
Yeah.
The good players, as I meant.
I can see that, yeah.
It's the same with the exhaustion. You've implemented exhaustion to take away people from power leveling, which was only like almost 1 skill. Power leveling a skill within 2 raids, burning in a fire. Now you've put into something.
To me, that's not power leveling, but that's a different.
That's story. Not power leveling. That's cheesing, and we know that's cheesing because that's 2 raids or even 1.5, and you can be maxed in a skill.
Yes.
Where you need almost 300 hours or 400 or 500 now for endurance to get it to max. The exhaustion literally made it so that the casuals are getting screwed.
So
for me,
just to give you a heads up,
because it's 900, isn't it?
Because I'm going to do it, and you're going to be very surprised. So the time without the 40% boost, to max it was 150 something hours, the added time, because you have to pause for 5 minutes in between the skill gain for endurance, the added time when you do that consecutively is 37 hours more to gain max endurance. So when 150 something hours is already too much for most people to do it. Too much for the
casuals. How are they going to do it?
But now I compare it to somebody who, off the start of a wipe, and that would be me, an example, spends 150 something hours to max endurance. Is 37 added hours going to stop him? And I'm going to go out and say, is 137 hours going to stop him? No. But it's making it absolutely impossible for 95% of the player base. And
Exactly.
I can't picture a world where this makes sense. Because ultimately, you're strengthening the people that have the time. That's all you do. Yeah. So
Time, knowledge,
yes, then obviously you need the knowledge, but I'm sharing
skill.
that with everybody. I hope.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. So it's very interesting, and you can go really, really deep into that.
Oh, you can go so deep.
Um.
I know we can probably make this a couple of hours
Oh yeah.
of talking.
I've at some point in life, once I can convince Nikita to join me, I'm gonna make a podcast on that one. And I'm hopefully gonna tell him, nope,
No.
it's not working, brother.
It's not working,
Need to
no.
change it. Okay, so to conclude this, is there anything else you want to mention or say in regards to the skills or the skill system that we haven't talked about, or that's just on your mind where you feel like, okay, this needs to be out in the public?
I we have a lot of people coming in asking us about the skills because we have maxed it. We have put in the time and effort, and after they find out, they go, not a fuck. Like, sorry, but there's no way they're gonna spend that time. I do stand for the casual players, and some of these changes are honestly just they are really bad for the casuals, and you can't have a game without the casuals. Like, you're gonna have to at least, help the casuals out. And I honestly feel like that because it's,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know how many people I've sent to you and how many you've sent to me, but it's always the same thing. They don't have time, And I'm not saying make it easy or anything about skills. I'm just saying, just make it, make it normal. I don't know.
Don't make it a
Make
game
it
for
so that
just
it's
10 people on Twitch.
exactly. Don't make it so that a new player comes in and says, "Yeah, no, I don't have that much time to spend on, getting my next trader level or anything." Like, that's just a little bit too much.
Yes. To add to that, one of my mods isn't even level 40, it's got 4 times the amount of money you have in your stash right now. And he doesn't have max skills. He doesn't have max endurance, but that's the way he plays the game, and
That's the way he plays.
but he knows how to play the game. That's the difference. And yeah,
Exactly.
to be honest, I wish we could just have all the community put together in a huge room, and then everybody gets to voice their opinion. And I feel like BSG does that in a sense, like they listen to Twitch, to Reddit, to Facebook, wherever, like literally everywhere. The problem is that the voices that are the loudest are always the ones that want to make it more hardcore and
Yeah.
harder to play. Because they want the thrill, they want the challenge. But, and I've heard this over the past days a lot. This game is already so challenging that some people reset their accounts literally 2-3 times because they're completely broke, and the AK's Prapor sends them, it's an AK-74U. I mean, BSG, guys.
The worst
Send them a
recalling gun
meta
ever.
HK, for God's sake.
Yeah, send them something. No, I do agree. Some of the changes, honestly, to make the game more hardcore, end up pushing away the casuals, or even some of the changes to help the casuals are like directly affecting the casuals.
Yes.
It's like the armor thing I said, and it's the same with the skills. If you can't even get to level 10 sniper skill, you're never going to get an M61. You're never going to be able to two-tap a guy in a fort armor, which that guy in the fort armor probably picked up from labs, from a boss that you will never kill, but he does. So the changes are honestly crucial. Even if you think it's small changes, it's honestly major ones.
I absolutely agree. Okay. I think the 10 questions are done. All I can say is thank you very much for coming here, and for flying over to my apartment and have the rooms look alike, and That's very kind of you. And if you want to watch Ghost, like I said, just check out the description, guys. The channel is in there. If you want to see somebody clicking a single fire gun as fast as a full auto gun, then yeah, that's your guy. And thank you very much for watching. And I hope I see you in episode 2. If you want to say anything in the comments, then feel free. Otherwise, just spam him in the Twitch chat. Have a good one, guys, and bye bye.